over the weekend, but also stressed the U.S. didn't want to see further escalation in the region.
This is an Israeli decision to make, whether and how they'll respond to what Iran did on Saturday, National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters at the daily press briefing.
Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez was given the maximum sentence of 18 months in prison for involuntary manslaughter in the 2021 fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
Gutierrez's attorneys asked for probation in a sentencing memorandum filed last week.
Rudy Giuliani has lost his bid to dismiss the $148 million defamation judgment against him from late last year.
The judgment was won by former Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Wandrea Shea Moss.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy.
We don't have any comedy.
For coffee
no comedy, no
with
nothing.
a dog.
We're just gonna
You make me laugh.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. What's the point? What's the point of it all? That's what I know. I would like to know the point. I'm waiting for the music to end. Never end. When the music ends. I get rid of Bill Heaven. Get rid of that file right now. Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, Hump Day, April 17th, 2024. You know what? Last week I told you that spring, and Monday, spring popped here for a day. Then yesterday, not so springy. And now we're backsliding. Now, I want to say, it's just me. It's just all of Long Island is 10 degrees warmer than my little thing. I have a little thing. Shoreham, Hills, Shoreham, New York, Shoreham Hills, the area where I am, 10 degrees colder than every other place on Long Island. It's as if it really is all about me. I should be flattered in some way that the universe is doing this to me, but I'm not. I'm actually a little pissed about it because I've never been more anxious for spring or summer-like weather. And now today, what are we going to have? I think 53 degrees or something like that, which is not acceptable. It's 51 right now and mostly cloudy. Might go up to 56 today. So 56. Tomorrow's high will be 47 degrees. What? It's just not right, I tell you. It's just not right. Our guest is not going to be here today. Scott Zank emailed me about 10 after 8 this morning. Some kind of family emergency. I hope that works out for him. Apparently, I'm going to have to stop focusing on growing the YouTube channel during the day and actually get back into putting some energy into booking quality guests that I know are going to show up. I kind of slacked for a while because it got very easy for me to just sit back and wait for people to just like flow in the door. But this is what you get when people just flow in the door. Last night, I had a no-show that a publicist arranged. I didn't get too upset about it, but you know what? I don't get it. I just don't get it. People, do they not mark their calendars? Do they? I don't know. Oh, I forget I had an interview. Anyway, so I had a no-show last night, and now we have a no-show today. So we got 2 hours to kill and nothing to talk about, really, unless you want to talk about. Well, there are things to talk about. Let's see. We got Rob Schneider. We'll talk about Rob Schneider sucking. Here's the deal. Rob Schneider, even the idiots who pay to see Rob Schneider want their money back. And he's not apologetic whatsoever, and he's refusing to be funny. He's refusing to be funny. And I just, I compare it to what I do. Imagine I go to a gig and I just make noise and people walk out because they want music. And I say, no, I refuse to make music. I'm making noise and I insist that you pay to hear me make noise. That is basically what Rob Schneider is doing. I'm not going to be funny. I'm just going to sit up here and yap stuff you don't want to hear. And I insist you pay for it. And I'm not going to apologize for it all. And somehow, somebody is still hiring him. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. So now I'm going to talk a little politics here. Just sit down, relax. Republican Congress. If they were a business, they would have been out of business long ago. They are the most incompetent group. And I don't know. Listen, you can fucking play all you want, your team politics, your rah, go team. This Republican Congress is inept. It's stupid. And this is what happens when you hand over the keys of the asylum to the crazy people. They in this Congress, so far we've had 2 speakers of the House, both of whom had a tough time getting enough votes to be Speaker of the House, and several other candidates in between who couldn't get enough votes. Now they want to kick the guy that got out because he's not doing what the radicals, the most extreme people in the party want. In the meantime, I think they've passed 29 bills in this session. Compare that to the last session, which was a Democratic session. You can say what you want. Again, you can team rah, all you fucking want. I believe the number was 2,983 bills passed in that Congress. Inept, can't get out of their own way, and doing nothing. And Mike Johnson, the current Speaker of the House, who is facing a major challenge from his own party, compared to what he is dealing with to the Civil War of 1861 through 1865. Yeah, you just can't make this shit up. So if you're a Republican, how you're not embarrassed by the current state of your party is beyond me. So we'll talk about Rob Schneider. We'll talk about the inept Republican Party. I just want to say about Bill Hicks, because why I'm bringing up Bill Hicks. I did a reel, an AI reel on Bill Hicks last night. Now it's gotten almost no traffic. And I'm wondering how many people even know who Bill Hicks is who are not in the comedy world. Lots of comedians, good and bad, hold Hicks in high esteem on the level of the legends, Carlin, Pryor, you could say Robin Williams if you're a Reverend Jelly Roll, and Bill Hicks and Lenny Bruce and, those people. His name is often mentioned in that. If you look over his body of work, now, clearly, a lot of people were influenced by him in the kind of ways he approached dark comedy and I want to say political or drug humor or health humor and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people thought of him as a groundbreaker, but his body of work is pretty small. And I'm just wondering and listen, I'm not casting any aspersions here. I'm just saying I'm going to be asking questions. First of all, how many people even really remember Bill Hicks at this point and know of him? And does he deserve to be put on the Mount Rushmore of comedy? And people who might want to be considering that are people like Stephen the sitcom Ortiz and Mr. Point at the Cup, G.D. Fenderson, and the fabulous Ron Kane. See, he's the only one who's fabulous now, but get out of my spot.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to point at my cup for no reason at all.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com.
Canada.
Huh? Oh, good morning,
Canada.
America. MindDogTV.com.
Canada.
The only place where you can get your Men of Mind Dog TV all nude calendar 50% off. Get yours before winter gets in and shrinkage sets in. MindDogTV.com.
Canada.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
All right, you are upbeat. Why are you upbeat? Your friend is not here, so it's all on you. It's your fault.
You know, I will take the blame on that one. I had no clue till I got here. But to be fair, this is the first time I've ever heard of him having this issue. So he might be having a real emergency because he hasn't messaged me back.
I'm going to assume he's telling the truth and he's got a real emergency. And listen,
I'm not.
You don't have to.
No, it's just What's an emergency? What's an emergency? Okay, he forgot to take out the trash, and then
I have to have.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I have to have this thing removed from my ass that I don't know. I gotta find it, but there's this thing on Twitter they're advertising that will end men's performance issues, and it looks like
the Turbo Tiger 2000.
No. It looks like more. It looks more like dildo up your ass 2000. It's. I got to find a picture of it. I'll share it later. But maybe he's having something like that removed from his anal cavity. That's all.
Knowing Scott,
would that be a family emergency though? Does it take a whole family to do that? Unless there was.
Well, maybe the whole family has.
It probably took his wife to put it in there. So.
Maybe they got like the family gift package and they all did it at the same time. I'm just saying there's billions of possibilities. I don't know why.
At least he didn't call you, or at least he didn't message you like 4 hours later in the emergency room.
Well, that's the point I was going to make. He messaged me. Most people just don't fucking show up. Like the guy last night, he just didn't show up. I called his publisher. She said, "I'll check on what." 10 minutes after the program was supposed to start, she emailed me and said, "I'll check on him. I don't know what happened."
Well, I understand. I mean, I haven't shown up in months. I mean, I've been here, but I haven't shown up.
You've never shown up.
I just got to say, it's show business. It doesn't matter about emergencies. You make it happen. I don't care if someone's dying right next to you. This is show business, baby. You're out.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And Scott is going to get mad at me because I'm going to bring him up again. Scott, the bass player, Scott's not really the bass player. I have to say, he wonders why there's no bio page for him on the rockin45s.com. It's because he's still, after 4.5 years, still a sub. Yeah,
like the black guy in the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
He's been playing bass for them. Been playing bass for them exclusively for what 40 years, and he's still not a Rolling Stone.
It's like about 20 years if we're going to be fair about it. But
who wants to be fair? I want to be funny.
I can't. I know. I get it. He's really good. He's really good, by the way. I can't remember his name now. It's like black something guy. Really weird. The black guy, but he's really good. Deal. But anyway, I saw him before he was with the Rolling Stones in a local club and was blown away by him. He was playing with the Good Rats. That's how long ago that was. But Schuyler Deal, that's his name. Anyway, where was I? What the hell was I talking about?
Bill Burr.
I thought we were talking about someone ending their career because they don't understand.
I was talking about Scott, because you just said it's show business. You got to show up. Scott one time, like not in the last 6 months, and I ripped him a new one on the show, and then he heard about it and he cried about it. I don't mind you saying my name on the show, but he was talking about, because the night before he was at a gig, or 2 nights before I did this on the air, he was at a gig and he was sitting and he was complaining about not feeling well. Like, this is not, you come to the gig, you play, you don't complain. Listen, yeah, it's show business. I had chronic sciatica to the point where I couldn't walk, but I played 4-hour gigs, where they had to actually wheel me in, and once the music started, it was like the adrenaline kicked in, and I didn't feel any pain for that 4 hours. Playing the show is the best, no matter how sick you are, no matter how crippled you are. Sorry, crippled. I'm gonna get.
That's okay.
You do the show, and you're gonna feel better during the show. You might feel shitty
100%.
after the show, before the show, but Ron Kane's absolutely right. It's show business.
It's show business, baby.
I played gigs. I played gigs with a broken left ring finger on my, broken left. I took the cast off and played, and then as soon as it was over, put the cast on and went. I have done comedy. With no cartilage in my right leg. I've gone on stage and told 3, 4, 5 funny things, without cartilage in my leg. You got to show it.
I've gone on stage 4 hours after surgery. I've gone to stage immediately after having procedures done. I did that a month ago.
You've even gone on stage in a wheelchair. How about that?
But with Steven, you're still taking. You had drugs in your system. I'm doing this sans drugs, man. I don't do drugs.
I haven't had drugs in my system the whole time. When I was at home, I wasn't on any drugs.
I've done radio shows after a full frontal lobotomy.
Oh yeah. Well, I did. I did a colonoscopy after donating my small intestines to science.
Oh yeah? Well, I lost a testicle playing full contact boggle with my sister-in-law's aunt. So you're
I gotta say you're all pussies, because this is show business. I had a colonoscopy and a hernia check on stage while I did the show.
On stage.
Oh well, yeah, you got me beat.
I gotta say, last night we did the Doghouse Comedy Mic, and now we picked up a new sponsor called Limb Jims. That's right, Limb Jims are here. Put some meat in your mouth.
No slim, it's limb. Limb Jim. Like a limb, LIMB, like an arm or a leg, Limb Jim.
And the S is for salt. We just throw that away.
Exactly.
All right, let's go in backwards order to the shit I brought up now. Bill Hicks. First of all, Steven,
still dead.
30 years old. You know Bill Hicks?
I know of him. I've seen a couple of things of stand up, and I remember his TV show.
Now, I'm sure GD never even heard of him, right? You never.
Is he the guy that did the routine about the driving down the road, and there was a van on the side of the road, and he goes, they're selling. He's driving down the road, and he saw a sign there selling seats for a van, and his routine was, who's driving down the road in a van without a seat? And he passed by and goes, damn it, I should buy a seat for this van. And I
don't remember that particular bit. It's possible.
Well, I will say that didn't he have a TV show on ABC?
No.
Bill Hicks?
No.
Who was that?
Bill Cosby. You're thinking Bill
no,
Cosby.
Not Bill Cosby. Hold on.
I gotta say, Steven,
I feel like I just hate
Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks. First of all, if you know Dennis Leary's material, you know Bill Hicks material. Dennis Leary stole it. No Cure for Cancer, all that kind of stuff. Big smoking stuff. Big on religion. I think the most controversial thing that ever happened to him was Letterman refused to air a segment that he did for Letterman that was really good. He refused to air it for like 20 years or 10 years or something. Then finally made good on it after his death. But Hicks was a guy who was very dark, very smart, very anti-religion or poking fun at the hypocrisy of religion. Like he had a bit about a Christian wearing a cross. He said the last thing Jesus if Jesus comes back, the last thing he's going to want to see is him hanging on a cross. I mean, talk about trauma.
Makes you wonder if he got shot by a gun, if everyone would be wearing a Glock around their neck instead.
Right. But there is this kind of idolization of him, or just putting him on a pedestal. And listen, I thought he was fucking hysterical. I mastered one of his albums in, I think, like 1990, but and played it for people before it was actually released. And we had like just parties of just listening in the days.
That's awesome.
Just listen to the comedy album. I thought he was awesome, but I think you have to have more of a body of work than just a couple of albums, couple of like Comedy Central things, or what, to be kind of put on that pedestal. Like Carlin did it for 20 years. I think he did 16 hours in 20 years, 16-hour shows. So I don't know. Well, what do you guys now, Ron? You know of him? Yes, one of you guys has to really know.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know of Bill Hicks because he's in show business, or was in show business.
Oh, we're on show business today. Do you think he belongs in the I don't know, in the upper atmosphere of the comedy history?
I think so. I mean, over time, like, because of his death, obviously he can't release any more albums because his manager is a dick and won't let him release any albums from hell.
Right.
But we won't get into that.
Fucking dead guys. They just refuse to work.
Yeah, I think he probably would have been, and maybe a little more prolific, and maybe more people would know him. But I mean, you do kind of. I mean, you have Mark Maron. He's still out there, which is because he came up with Bill Hicks, so it's along the same way.
Yeah, you know what? The only criticism, the only thing I don't know if it's criticism. The thing that made me feel weird about Hicks was I watched Paul Provenza, for Comics Only, an interview, and in the interview, Hicks was doing material. Like he wasn't being funny naturally. He was just doing the stuff off his album in an interview setting, and I thought that's weird. You never see like Norm Macdonald or Richard Lewis, these people who went on late night shows, they were funny just being guests. Just it wasn't they weren't doing material. They were just being funny in the moment. Or I shouldn't say that. Norm was doing material, but he made it seem like it wasn't material off an album he released.
Norm was a special animal. He did his own thing. Yeah.
Okay, just for the record, the guy that I thought was Bill Hicks is not Bill Hicks. I don't know who that guy is, and I don't know who Bill Hicks is. So
who'd you find though? Because I've been Googling trying to find the guy I was thinking of that looks like Bill Hicks, who died in the middle of a season of a TV show. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. I want to say Belushi, but it's not a Belushi either. It was was he friends with Belushi?
Wow,
I cannot remember.
I don't know
who.
That's a good one. Now Rappler says he's on the Hedberg level of influential dead guy. You know what? People recently on one of these comedy bro type of podcasts were bashing Hedberg. It was Louis J. Gomez, I believe, and his crew were saying that people have this opinion of Hedberg that's not deserved, and they were saying he's not that funny. I think Hedberg is definitely in a world of his own.
Hedberg was a unicorn that cannot be touched. Like,
now,
funny in the weirdest ways.
GD, tell me you know who Mitch Hedberg was.
Yeah, I thought he was hilarious, especially in those Doritos commercials and the light beer commercials.
He was even on that 70s show.
Light beer commercials.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, actually, I do know who Mitch Hedberg is because, and that's mainly because of on Sirius Radio they had a thing called Raw Dog Comedy.
Yeah.
And I've seen him on I think HBO maybe. But I do know he is because he had a bass player who used to play behind him. I guess was it a real bass player or was it just a soundtrack?
It was Shia LaDeal from the Rolling Stones.
That's awesome.
The black guy. Yeah. Patrice O'Neal, you know him, right? Tell me you know Patrice O'Neal.
Is that the one they call Earthquake?
I don't know. I've never heard him called Earthquake.
That's probably not the same guy. I don't think I know who.
Wow.
I know the name. I know the name.
This is show business here. You're out.
I know the name, but I don't know his material. At all.
How about Rob Schneider? Are you familiar with Rob Schneider?
Is he that's the guy that was in Jaws, right? He was in Jaws. He was
No.
He played the husband in Jaws.
Well, there was a Schneider guy. What was that guy's name? Roy Schneider.
Oh,
no, Rob Schneider was Saturday Night Live. He, what was it?
We're gonna need a bigger boat. Is Roy Schneider?
Yeah.
He's
in a lot of
Adam.
He's in a lot of Adam Sandler movies. He was on SNL, but I don't know. He wasn't funny ever.
Right. That guy. Yeah, he plays bass for the Rolling Stones now.
He does. He listens to the Rolling Stones mostly.
Okay. Yeah, I do know that guy. I didn't think he was funny, but I thought he was friends with Adam Sandler, and so maybe Adam Sandler was like underwriting.
Steven, help me out here. Steven, help me out here. You know about the Rob Schneider stuff, right?
Somebody's praying. He's got his head up, tilted up, and he's moving his lips. He's in prayer. Leave him alone.
He's still in the hospital? What the hell? So, yeah, Rob Schneider's been doing Republican events, doing comedy for Republicans.
Oh, that's why he's not funny. They don't get jokes.
Well, apparently, he didn't really read the room and was doing, like, he was too racist for the Klan. They got up and walked out and said, you know, that you're just too racist. The Klan stood up and walked out on him. But he, apparently, like, he's not doing well with his core hard right, because he's a hard right winger. He's not doing well with them at all, and refuses to try to be funny for them. Like, I'm not.
So what question were you asking me?
Rob Schneider, like, you know, because I think I saw something about you saying they walked out of him on 10 minutes into a set. Now, a couple of nights ago, there was a whole thing about they wanted their money back, but this was from a different show like 6 months ago or something.
Yeah.
There was an article in Vanity Fair. But I think just a couple of nights ago, he did a show for him, and they walked out on him. And then this morning on Twitter, he was saying he's not apologizing. You know, I'm not going to try to. He said, "Fuck this woke bullshit. I'm not going to try to make people laugh. I'm going to do what I want to do." I think as a comedian, and you're charging people to make them laugh.
I think comedy show is overrated.
Rob Schneider's calling me.
Hello, Rob.
Hey, this is show business, Rob Schneider. You're out of show business. You're out. After 10 minutes, out.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, the idea, I try to kind of, draw an analogy there. Like, if you're a musician, you're a music act, and you just want to go up and make noise, and people walk out, and you're pissed. Like, I insist that you listen to me make noise. I'm not gonna try to give you what you want. I'm gonna do what I want.
Yoko Ono.
I mean, it's crazy, man. Rob has gone so far off the deep end that he's not even putting on comedy shows. He's not even trying to make it a joke. He's just going on stage and just barfing super alt-right theories and bullshit and expecting people to stay and get paid. That's asinine. Like, you're not George Carlin. You're not putting your political views into really well-made jokes.
No, there's no premise, no punchline.
Nothing. It's just bullshit. He's even like Alex Jones minus the intensity. It sounds
like Lenny Bruce without the righteousness.
That's who Bill Hicks looks like, by the way, young Alex Jones.
Oh, and you know who they both look like? The guy I was thinking of, John Ritter.
John Ritter? I can't.
He looks like Bill Hicks.
Kind of. He looks a little more like it'll come to me. I can't think of it.
Listen, the picture I saw of Bill Hicks was younger, and the picture of John Ritter I pulled up, he was maybe in his 40s. They looked very similar. That's who I was thinking of, though.
Yeah, Ritter was most famous for Three's Company. His father was Tex Ritter, the singing cowboy in the movie days. Yeah.
Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider has made he's made the Gallagher turn. He's one of these guys that's made the Gallagher turn where he for some reason he's angry and bitter. Like the cultural landscape shifted and he can't handle it. And now he's like Roseanne and some of these other guys that are showing up on like Fox streaming comedy. But but he even just proved that even the Republicans aren't siding with him if you got to end your set after 10 minutes and they have to send out apology letters because you're going in there and just flaming all the Asians right away.
I mean, Dennis Miller used to be funny before he went far right. I just think that once you go conservative, you have to have your humor gland removed.
I don't think that's completely true because George Bush was hilarious.
True. No,
George Bush was
true.
hilarious.
I find it offensive that you would call you would equate conservative with far right.
Yeah, I seen Gallagher a few years ago, he was so angry and bitter. I had never seen a set just devolve into such bitterness. He didn't even really have jokes. He would come out and he would like do a joke. Then he would go, "That's why they won't let me on the Tonight Show anymore." It's like, no, that's not the reason why. You're just not funny anymore.
Was it the real Gallagher or was it his brother doing his act?
No, it was the real Gallagher. It was the real Gallagher.
How can you tell? They look like twins or something.
No, this is the real guy. The anger level of
I think they were both angry. I mean,
I don't know. You can tell them apart. The real Gallagher had a bigger hammer.
It was rough. It was
and a chainsaw.
It was sad, and that's what happens. Those guys, they just age out, and they don't understand like things have changed. And it's
Pete Holmes is the guy I'm thinking that kind of reminds me of John Ritter a little bit.
Pete Holmes looks like him too a little bit, yeah, but not as close as Bill.
He's got the mannerisms of John Ritter. All you know.
Do you
Pete
think
Holmes is like a clean comic, right? Pete Holmes is a clean Christian comic or something.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
Do you think this is like Rob Schneider's resentment just coming to the surface? Because he's had a decent career because of Adam Sandler. He's been able to make money and ride those coattails. I think maybe he can't handle it. I mean, what do you think?
I don't understand what he has to be resentful about. He's a guy with no talent who's made millions of dollars off his no talent. I would be fucking celebrating the fact that I got lucky. I fucking fell backwards into a pile of money. Oh, excuse me. Life is so miserable for me.
And he's not even a white dude, and he's parading around like he's an oppressed white dude.
What?
Figure it out.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Rob Schneider's not white.
He's not?
No, he's hold on a second. I saw this like 2 days ago.
Schneider? I think you can't get more white, more Aryan than a Schneider. A Schnitzel, maybe. Schnitzel might be a more Aryan than Schneider. Rob Schnitzel Schneider.
He's
Speaking of Aryan, what do you think of people who name their kids Adolf Hitler?
Rob Schneider's Filipino.
Filipino?
Yes.
How did get no? Are you lying to me?
No, Filipino and Caucasian descent. His father was Jewish and his mother was Catholic, and a mixed background. Yeah.
Wow, he doesn't.
If you look at his skin tone, he's fairly olive toned.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. In the meantime, I think you're lying to me.
The people need to know. The people need to know.
Well, so what do you guys think of people who name their kids Adolf Hitler? There was a story a while ago about a woman who divorced her husband because he named their son Adolf Hitler, and it took her like 2 to 3 years to divorce him. But that was but they granted her custody of the child because they didn't think that the father had the best interest of the child in
not when you're naming him Adolf Hitler. That's dumb.
Rob Schneider was born in San Francisco, California on October 31st, Halloween, 1963. Grew up in the nearby suburb of Pacifica. His parents were Pilar Nay Monroe and kindergarten teacher and ex-school board president, and Marvin Schneider, a real estate broker. His father was Jewish and his mother was Catholic. His maternal grandmother was a Filipina who married his grandfather. So yeah, his great grandmother was Filipino.
That counts.
His grandmother. I guess it counts.
Yeah,
he's
that
a
one
white guy.
rule.
Come on,
Yes.
he's as white as what's that woman who I can't remember her name now. The one who claimed she was a Native American while she was what's her name?
Elizabeth Warren didn't claim she was Native American. Elizabeth Warren said it's probably was told that story as a child, just like I was. I was told that we were like 20% Cherokee and 14%.
Yeah, a lot of people were making that claim for a long time. I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying sometimes parents tell you those things and you grow up, you don't know it. Just because your parents say it, you think it's true.
Like that, I want to say the senator in Oklahoma who wants to fight everybody. He claims to be part Cherokee, but he's a white guy.
Yeah. I want to say I'm 20% Jello, 40% steak, and 40% popcorn.
Yeah. I'm 50%.
According to my the DNA history ancestry crap thing.
23
I'm 2% Native American from the Skim tribe.
That's just that. I'm sorry. The 2% was the part that got circumcised.
Yeah, that's it.
That was you threw that away. You had it for like 50 years, and then you tossed it into the frying pan when you were out of bacon that day.
What makes you think we threw it away?
Well,
I didn't say you threw it away. You tossed it into the frying pan when you were out of bacon. That's why you got circumcised, right? You were short on meat for your eggs and cheese.
There was enough to feed a small family.
With my
a small
family. Like one of the tube sock things.
I'm 50% Ford Bronco, so
wow. So OJ is hiding in your ass.
With cash, and what's his friend name? Al Hurd.
I gotta say, from the DNA sample that I left last night, everything's fine.
The DNA sample you left last night, you're the murderer at West York Inn.
I'm 100% that bitch. So.
Wow. We have a guest with us right now, coming in here, a remote guest coming in by video phone. It's good to have her here. Listen, this is a privilege to have here now with us on Coffee with the Dog is Ivanka Trump, daughter of the former president.
Hi, I'm Ivanka. Daddy calls me Vanky. I would like to clear up a few misconceptions about my daddy, Donald Trump. People question his faith, but there's a reason he doesn't go to church that often. When I was just 13 years old, he hung a big, heavy crucifix over my bed. And a few nights later, it fell off the wall and left a 2-inch gash in the back of Daddy's head. Now, I want people to know that my daddy never had sex with Stormy Daniels. She doesn't have any stuffed animals in her room. Also, she said he has a small penis, but I find it hard to swallow. People are saying that Daddy buried top-secret documents with my mom's ashes. I know that's not true because I saw him flush her ashes down the toilet. Oh, that's Daddy calling now. He probably wants to buy me another stuffed animal. Gotta go, bye.
Wow. Well, we appreciate Ivanka Trump stopping in with that little tidbit about her daddy. What do you think about that? Do you think, first of all, she mentioned that people question his faith. Do you think Trump, because he said he wasn't sleeping in court, he was actually praying. You buy that?
Trump is about as religious as I am cardio oriented. It's not true. He's not. No.
So you don't buy? You think he was actually sleeping in court?
Oh no! Yeah, totally.
1,000%.
Now,
yeah, I mean, he's an elder.
He's been in court for what 100 hours in the past this year, and he chooses now to start praying. No, he was sleeping. The man is 100%. Worn. Look at him.
Yep.
Yeah,
Look
no.
at the pictures. He's worn. He's tired. He's old. He can't
Well,
take it anymore.
again, I think the media is being unfair to him.
No. He's asked for that media attention. They can't be unfair to him. You can't be a media whore and then be upset when they take advantage of you being a media whore.
Oh.
It's against the rules. It's against the rules. You can't say, look at me, look at me, look at me, don't look at me now. No, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Well, I thought there was supposed to be no cameras in the courtroom.
Right, you can have artists. That's what the artists are for.
The artist renditions, though, those are awesome because they got like triangle heads and everything.
But there are also pictures of him
before the court goes into session. I believe they can take pictures. But you can't, but there are rules. But once it's like hear ye, the judge is here. There's like cameras, get out. Don't look the judge.
Hear ye.
Yeah,
I think you got the judge mixed up with like the old town crier.
No, some like in the Supreme Court, they still introduce them as oyez, oyez. So yeah, I'm sorry, there's some traditions that just don't die.
Stephen, do you know this real slim shady lady? Do you know her at all? The real?
No, I don't. I have no idea who she is.
For the people on the audio side, I'm referring to a comment in the chat room. If Steven's beard gets any longer, it will make a perfect seat. No, I've sat on it. And good morning and a smile. Okay.
Good morning, Slim Lady. And,
now coming back to the Trump thing, if I would definitely be falling asleep in court, I'd be snoring, and there would be drool coming down. There's no doubt about it.
Who wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
And I just it's boring as fuck. So if that's probably the only thing in the world I cut him slack on is this falling asleep in court is an easy thing to do. I fall asleep on this program. Generally, when I'm not speaking, I'm sleeping. So,
well,
yeah. But people making a big deal of it. I think they seated 6 jurors now, and
7.
Here's the thing: 7. It is 7 because it was 6 as of last evening. All right, Jesse Waters, Fox News douchebag, who is very poor at math. He's upset that at least the last one he saw before he commented last night had a master's degree. That's bad. She's a nurse and she has a master's degree. I don't like this woman. Well, you're against smart people or educated people. I mean, I could see why that would intimidate you. But she said what really got him upset was she said no one is above the law. Oh, right. Sounds fishy to me. What do you mean? That sounds like a juror you would want. Nobody is above the law. Sounds like a very reasonable position to be taken if you're a juror. I don't know, but he's making the case that that's a negative thing, and his audience is sucking it up like, oh yeah, that is a negative.
It could have been worse. She could have said the only person above the law is the president, and he ain't president, so suck it.
Now, the Supreme Court is weighing this immunity thing too, right? So,
narrowly on that. On the they're looking at the what is it? The one particular phrase about how what is it? The Insurrection Act, but obstruction of government procedure.
No, that's a different issue than the that they are weighing the charge against January 6 rioters whether they were obstructing Congress.
Right.
But the other thing, the issue that they're deciding is Trump's claim that he should be immune for anything from prosecution for anything he did while in office.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
This is Robert Kennedy Jr. I gotta say, if you're having problems with insurrections, You can get shots and pills now today, GD. You can do it.
The presidential candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is with us now. I'm glad you stopped in. I don't know how you got keys to just stop in like that, but I appreciate you being here.
Hey, I'm a resourceful guy, especially when a couple of your family members get assassinated. You got to figure out ways to get in places.
Well, I appreciate you being here, whether it's blah, 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 just sneaking in the back door or using all your resourcefulness to blow one of the guys and get in, however you did it. I'm glad you're here because I noticed that yesterday you came out attacking Trump, saying he had 4 years to get it done, and all he did was make things worse. He said he was going to drain the swamp. He filled it with insiders and his lackeys and all that stuff. So now the question I have is, did you do that to invoke his wrath and get him to attack you because you feel left out? Or is there another reason that you decided this late in the game to get on the anti-Trump bandwagon?
Well, I got to say, first, I know that old bitch who fears me, and I want him to fight me because I know I could kick his ass. I just know it. And I definitely could clear the swamp with my terrible voice. I would just go in there and start yelling at people, and they would think I'm some kind of weird Loch Ness monster. You know what I mean? Oh, someone's calling me.
Somebody calling?
Wait, who are you? Wait, vice president? I don't fucking know. Just send the money. Oh, sorry about that.
Well, I can't find the thing that you shove up your ass that I was talking
about. Like
creatine
like
suppository?
Creatine suppositories, butt plugs.
What I do with my ass, I do on my own time. I've become so much of a man, I'll have Cheryl pegging me while I'm talking to my VP.
Alex Jones said that you guys were going to be doing it at Bohemian Grove, so...
let's be honest, Alex needs a lot of attention these days. He's not quite as sexy as I am.
It was an ad that I retweeted, but for some reason it's not showing my retweets. But the thing, it's supposed to be a performance enhancer for males, but it looks too fat. I mean, I can't even. For the people on the radio side, I'm struggling to demonstrate how fat this thing you shove up your ass is supposed to be. But all right, like this big, like this is the size.
That's a mug, right? That's a coffee mug. That's a coffee cup.
No, this is a weed storage unit.
Yeah, I definitely.
Of course.
Yeah.
I definitely got to say, America has lost its way. We're so concerned with ass play. Why aren't we focused on the titties anymore? Everything's all ass play.
Oh, here it is. Let me see if I can share this. I'm going to see if I can share. You guys talk amongst yourself while I go. I'll give you a topic.
I got today's holidays.
He's got today's holidays.
I've got today's holidays and observances.
All right, you do that while I bring up this.
Wait a minute, Steve. You got to have introduction music. Dun, 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 dun,
hey, here we go. How about will this work?
Today's holidays.
Wait here. Oh, today's holidays with your host, Steven the Sitcom Ortiz.
Thank you, RFQ. I appreciate that wonderfully painful sounding introduction. So today's holidays, guys, we got some good ones. So the first one is National Cheese Ball Day. Huh?
Bean ball?
Get your jammies going like a cheese ball. Yeah.
Oh, cheese ball.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought you said bean ball, like throwing a fastball at somebody's head.
No, cheese ball. Cheese
ball.
Yes.
My balls do smell a little like cheese this morning. I think they need a good...
I would shower.
What kind of cheese? Because there's so many brands of cheese.
From under
cheese.
From under.
Oh, you know.
And is that from a goat or a cow or a pig?
It's from under.
I gotta say,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
if you want to fix that cheese, all you gotta do is lay on the bed with your legs spread nice and wide, and have
then
your
the dog.
and have your wife put talcum powder all over you. It's so erotic.
Right.
I went the wrong way. I was thinking the dog.
Add yeast. Add yeast.
Oh. No one needs to be the Yeasty Boys. All right. Next up is National Haiku Day. For those of you that don't know what that is a poem
5 lines
with the syllabus structure 575.
575.
Yeah.
Like a Boeing 575.
With doors.
Can't fly either. A haiku can't fly either.
Right.
Is it a haiku if your family doesn't just like you? They just hate me so much.
That would be a coup of sorts for sure, yeah. This one's for all the conservatives. This will get their jimmies going. Today is Second Amendment Day.
Right.
Oh
So
which
like,
country?
yeah.
So you can bear your flamethrowers and rocket launchers and grenades and throw them at schools or other buildings or whatever you want.
Second
Yeah,
Amendment
that's
Day.
right.
Where are
Yeah,
all the
Second
Second Amendment people when you need them to come out and to celebrate their day?
They're outside.
Right now.
They're in New York, outside the courthouse right now. All of them. All 11 of them. Supporting Trump.
This is one that I appreciate because this is what I hear G.D. Fenderson say when he talks. It's blah, blah, blah day.
Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you. Finally, I got my own holiday. Who needs Juneteenth when I have blah, blah, blah day?
Yeah, who needs Juneteenth and March Madness when you have blah, blah, blah day? Am I right?
That's right.
Ford Mustang Day, for those of you who like to walk around places.
I got a Ford Mustang. Well, my wife has a Ford Mustang that I bought for her.
I fucking hate that Joe Biden's got a Corvette and I got this fucking Mustang. F him.
Sorry, that was good. Herbalist Day, for those of you who like your herbs, your cilantros, your marijuanas, your what have yous. Yeah, man.
I like
wait a minute. Is this you need to make a list of their herbs? Is that what the day is for? You make your herbal list. Just
12 herbs and spices.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta say, on the Kennedy compound, I love eating the mushrooms that are in the yard. I disappeared for 2 weeks once.
I believe that. Let's see. International Day of Mastering Conversations That Matter.
What?
Exactly. International Day of Mastering Conversations That Matter.
Mastering?
International Day of Mastering Conversations.
Mastering. That's the word I was
matter,
hung
yes.
up on. Because it sounded like you were saying masking. I was like, masking. Mastering. Okay. Well,
and then I'm going to round it off with this one. And that is National Banana Day.
No, I'm all for bananas. Listen, I'm a big banana. I'm a believer in the banana.
Yes, we have no bananas.
Lots of potassium, just like the CIA used on my uncle.
All right. Now here's what I want to present to you guys. It says 100,000 men can't be wrong. Now, it looks
sure
like
they can. That's their wives.
That end of that is supposed to go up your ass, and your dick is supposed to go through the hole in the front.
Yep.
Is that how that works?
That's what it looks like.
Well, right, exactly. I want to say that 100,000 men can be wrong. Well, I didn't need to see this to know that 100,000 men can be wrong. I think there are probably about a little more than 4 billion males on the planet, and I'm pretty sure every one of them can be wrong, including me. But this just
ask their spouses.
That seemed awfully fat to stick it. I mean, that.
Well, they're not showing you.
I get nervous when the doctor puts a little condom on his pinky.
Is that a USB port in the front?
Yeah.
Why would you put that part? The USB port part.
You power it. It's like a vibrator or something. What's going on? We got popping in, popping out, and popping over.
That's not right.
Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Do you guys not think that's awfully fat to stick up your ass?
We don't see the. I don't know if you go by the fact that that's a USB-C port in the front, or I guess if that's the energy penetrate, why would you have an open end go into your open end? That doesn't make sense because you could get stuff in there.
I think this is supposed to be like a cock ring with.
Well, from the looks of
it, a pentagonal shaped one.
Yep.
Well, that's to allow room for like your condoms or anything else you might have on underneath or on top of it, And then there's probably a plug that covers that little charging port, so you don't get any of the fecals in there.
Well, of course, and that's exactly what was the first thing you'd lose. You'd lose the little plug, and next thing you know, you have an infection. No,
that's true, but it's better than losing the whole contraption in there.
All right,
that's with that design, Matt, I think you made that up. I think you made that up. I don't think that's real. I think you made that up with AI, anus input.
I did not. 100,000 men can't be wrong. It's top of the hour time now for the news, which is brought to you by who is it brought to you by? Daily High Club. We'll play the commercial after the news. Right now, here's Alan Edwards. I almost forgot his name. Alan Edwards.
Alan Fun.
Rudy Giuliani has lost his bid to dismiss the $148 million defamation judgment against him from late last year.
The judgment was won by former Georgia election workers Ruby Freeman and Wandrea Shea Moss. The mother and daughter were accused by Giuliani of committing election fraud while the two were counting ballots in Georgia's Fulton County on Election Day in 2020. Jim Kender reporting.
Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez was given the maximum sentence of 18 months in prison for involuntary manslaughter in the 2021 fatal shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins.
Gutierrez's attorneys asked for probation in a sentencing memorandum filed last week, citing her complete lack of prior criminal history and relative youth. Prosecutors, meanwhile, requested a sentence of 18 months with the designation of serious violent offender due to her extreme recklessness while working as an armorer on the Rust set in New Mexico. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The White House carefully avoided weighing in on any possible Israeli response to Iran's attack over the weekend, but also stressed the U.S. didn't want to see further escalation in the region.
This is an Israeli decision to make, whether and how they'll respond to what Iran did on Saturday, National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters at the daily press briefing. And we're going to leave it squarely with them, Liam White reporting.
Russia and Ukraine traded blame before the United Nations Security Council for the attacks on Europe's largest nuclear power plant, which the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency said have put the world dangerously close to a nuclear accident.
Without attributing blame, IAEA Director General Rafael Mariano Grossi said his agency has been able to confirm 3 attacks against the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant since April 7th. These reckless attacks must cease immediately, he told the Security Council. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
All right, give me the latest news headlines.
Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban has revealed how much he owes in taxes to the IRS. Cuban has to pay a total of $275,900,000, according to a social media post from Monday.
Cuban had shared a $288 million estimate after being asked by a writer if he or his corporations pay more than the required taxes in order to pay your fair share. Cuban replied that he pays what he owes. This country has done so much for me. I'm proud to pay my taxes every single year, Cuban said.
That story
Paul
2
Gomez
days
reporting.
ago.
NASA confirmed that a mystery object that crashed through the roof of a Florida home last month was a chunk of space junk from equipment discarded at the International Space Station.
The cylindrical object that tore through the home in Naples on March 8th was subsequently taken to the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral for analysis. The space agency said it was a metal support used to mount old batteries on a cargo pallet for disposal. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A couple who owned a Colorado funeral home where authorities last year discovered 190 decaying bodies were indicted on federal charges that they misspent nearly $900,000 in pandemic relief funds on vacations, cosmetic surgery, jewelry, and other personal expenses, according to court documents unsealed Monday.
The indictment reaffirms accusations from state prosecutors that John and Carrie Halford gave families dry concrete instead of cremated ashes and alleges the couple buried the wrong body on 2 occasions. The couple also collected more than $130,000 from families for cremations and burial services they never provided, the indictment said.
Funny.
Kevin Sanders reporting.
A divided Supreme Court allowed Idaho to proceed with broad enforcement of a new law aimed at prohibiting gender-affirming care for minors.
The decision overrides 2 lower federal courts that had upheld an injunction against the law as litigation over its constitutionality continues. The decision was backed by all 6 of the High Court's conservative members. Wade Addison reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Well, Alan, you gave us a lot to talk about there.
And they're not the latest headlines. Some of them are like a month old, or 2 days old. One of them should have just said Matt reporting.
Just to be clear, GD can't tell the difference between 2 days and a month. Does this mean Alec Baldwin is the woman getting charged with I don't know, violent crime, whatever? She's getting 18 months for the killing on the movie set. Does that mean Alec Baldwin is off the hook?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
probably.
Is she the fall guy? She's like a stunt criminal.
I mean,
she's just right.
In reality, I mean, it was her responsibility up to the point of action to make sure the gun was safe, right? So, I guess it makes sense. As fucked up as it is, it does make sense.
So is she a violent criminal, or is she just an incompetent?
That whole thing drives me nuts. To me, it just sounds like it was a really fucked up accident. Like,
what happened? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Messing with guns and everything, like eventually there's going to be an accident, and I think to make that person out to be a violent criminal, is asinine. That's so bad. That's going to destroy everything for her, not just in Hollywood, but nobody's going to hire her if they think she's a violent gun-toting maniac.
Well, for snuff films, snuff films. Yes, I was going to say, was anybody charged with Brandon Lee's death? Because he died.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think anybody was, and he died on set, or he was shot on set and died eventually. Yes,
pretty much the same exact scenario, right? The gun.
No. Brandon's was different because I think there was like debris still left in the gun. Like the blank was in there, but sometimes blanks can break apart, and he got hit by a particle or something like that.
Leave it to our Daily Bullet correspondent, Ron Kane, to have all the facts on this.
Our blank shooting correspondent, Ron Kane.
But the woman from Rust, I don't think she's really being portrayed as a violent criminal. It's just it's a horrible workplace accident, and the thing they're dinging her on is because they're saying that she didn't really show any remorse or anything like that.
Right, but they did in that report. Alan Edwards said she was being charged as a violent criminal.
Well, yeah, she's being charged with the homicide, like I guess involuntary manslaughter.
Right.
It's just a workplace accident. Will she be able to work again? Not in Hollywood, probably. But
snuff films. She'll be able to do snuff films in Bollywood.
Yeah.
But just to answer the question on the flip side, while Massey did not receive any criminal charges for the killing of Brandon Lee, Lee's mom did successfully sue the filmmakers for an undisclosed amount of money, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
but there was no criminal case built out of this, though.
No, and the same thing will happen to Alec Baldwin. He'll have to pay. He's probably part of some civil suit, and he might have to pay something.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah.
Alec Baldwin's a bad guy anyway. The
Baldwins are not good people most of the time, but
How can you say that? How can you say that? Their last name has the word "win" right in it.
Have you ever seen
something?
Flintstones or any of Alec Baldwin's movies? They're crimes against humanity.
Well, that's
if you're saying the Baldwins are worse than the Kennedys, no way, man. We got them beat hands down.
The Baldwins are a unique bunch there. Now, one of them, I forget which one, is like super religious, born again.
Billy Christian. Baldwin,
right? I forget which one.
No,
Jesus
Baldwin. Ron, yeah. I figured that, RFQ. I figured that that you all would be scared of Baldwins because they have guns.
We got Volkswagens. We got
and blown off heads.
Yeah.
Well, Baldwin's mother ran for Congress here back in, I think she might have even won. I'm thinking way back. This is probably 30 years ago now. Colin Ferguson was a guy who opened up fire with, automatic weapons on a Long Island Railroad train and killed a bunch of people, and then represented himself in court. And he's totally fucking psychotic. But that got Baldwin's mother to run for office. I think she won. She was in Congress for a while. She was a Long Island congressperson. Really strict on gun laws, which is kind of ironic to find her son using a gun to kill somebody accidentally, but still. So there's that. But on the accident side, this is funny because he said there was, attack on a nuclear power plant. He said, brings the world dangerously close to a nuclear accident. I think if you launch a missile at a nuclear reactor and it blows up, or I don't think that's an accident. That's not a nuclear accident. That is an on purpose. But in the news report,
I think I get what they're trying to say, but because maybe they didn't fire the missile with the intention of making radioactive debris splatter.
No,
maybe they were just trying to shut down the power.
We just wanted missiles to go off near a nuclear reactor. We didn't mean for the radiation to get out.
Right. We just wanted to shut down the power. We just, and we couldn't find the switch. We couldn't find the switch to do it. So we just want to cut off the electricity going out to the peoples. That's all. And we used the missile because we were all out of off switches.
Surprise, surprise! It made people glow in the dark. It's just really.
And frog penises began to get triple in size.
The frog penises are growing triple in size.
Spanky Baldwin.
Yes.
I don't know if that's his name. I think it's either Daniel, Billy, one of those extra Baldwins. I know we have extra Baldwins in case the main Baldwin goes down. We can
spare parts.
Yeah, wheel in a new Baldwin. I think the phrase "space junk," because when I hear the word junk, I think of my balls and my cock, and so space junk hitting the house is kind of interesting to me. Like, does space have big balls and a big cock?
Well, aliens.
Yes.
Aliens do.
Yeah.
Real aliens, not the little gray ones that you see drawn that have no genitalia, but the real aliens.
Matt, I do have somebody who saw a post that says he could be on the show in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, well, send them an invite, man. You see the invite, send them that. And tell them.
Where's that? Where's that at? Oh, there it is. Invite. Okay.
And then it'll give you a link or email or whatever you can do, and just send it to them. Is it somebody real, or is it somebody?
Yes, his name's Andy Emily. He's another Crippy comic.
All right, bring him on. Bring him on.
I'm sending a message now.
Yeah. So are you guys? Where was this house in, like, Georgia or something, that they just had shit fall from the space station fall on their house? Concerning? You're worried about things falling from
Florida.
space?
It was in Florida, and I wouldn't be concerned.
So we're not even sure.
My only concern would be if something like that fell through my roof, that they took the thing that did the damage and they left the alien spores in my attic to grow. So 10 years from now, my cat is walking around and all of a sudden it coughs up an alien, like on.
How much shit is actually floating around up there that has
the 4 or 5 pieces? Yeah, at least 4 or 5 pieces.
Yeah, like especially in the Earth's orbit between like all the satellites and the old satellites that are up there and debris.
Right.
It's like a ring of shit.
Right between the condom sphere and the ironic sphere. It's like a lot of stuff.
Can you sue, and who do you sue when you get hit with something? I mean, first, your house would have to. If you got hit, you're done. I would think it's
unless you're taking creatine, then you can walk it off.
Exactly. But it is show business, so you got to show up, even if you get hit with space junk.
Unless the junk hits you on the chin, then that's a little.
Well, then that's a date. That's a date.
Yeah.
Here's some baseball trivia for you now.
Who got hit with the most balls on the chin?
Right. Who got hit with the most pitches in baseball?
Babe Ruth.
Organa.
Hit by pitch.
Zolar.
No, Ron Hunt. Now, who got hit with the most balls in the chin?
Oh,
Barry Bonds.
Elton John.
Liberace. Elton John was close. Close guess there. Anyway, why did I bring that up? Oh, space junk falling on people. I get paranoid about that shit. So this house in Florida, I mean, who's to say I'm not next? Now, do I have to kind of be anxious about this and nervous and constantly looking up because there's
not in Florida. I'm not worried about shit falling out of the sky. Florida is notoriously known for fucking sinkholes, where where you're just. I read the story a couple of years ago about this guy. He's just sitting in his living room, just sitting there, normal night. All of a sudden, his floor opened up, and they never found the guy.
Wow.
The earth swallowed him.
Satan was ready. Satan was calling him home. So,
he wanted the body and everything.
Yeah, that's scary. That is scary shit to me.
So now you can't sue anybody over that. Satan's got good lawyers.
And
well, that's why Trump can't hire any of them.
And insurance only covers act of God; it doesn't cover acts of Satan. So,
but Satan is a god, isn't he? Not well, I guess.
Well, at least the ground swallows.
His pronouns are. I don't know what his pronouns are actually. What are I say his? That indicates that it is a he. So I don't know what I'm saying. I really don't know what I'm saying.
But in theory, Satan was an angel, and angels would be genderless.
Well, are they genderless? Because in the Bible, they refer to like some of them as he's or hims or hers.
That's just the way they.
I don't know. Charlie's angels were all pretty hot for females, so.
Yeah, they were more like they weren't quite seraphim though. They were more like
But that I'm just blaming Charlie's Angels for confusing me on the whole gender of angels issue.
Oh, yeah.
Because Cheryl, whatever her name is, Cheryl Ladd and Farrah Fawcett,
Cheryl Ladd, Kate Jackson.
Yeah, you can leave Kate Jackson out. You can leave Kate Jackson out of it and just go with the three.
She was my favorite one.
Well, you're not really cool.
Kate Jackson was my favorite one.
All right, last news story. I think the last news. No, there were other news stories. The Rudy Giuliani thing. It's one thing to say, well, there was voter fraud and all that stuff, but you got to be really stupid to actually call out a couple of individual citizens and kind of, this is where he went wrong. If he would have just went with, it was voter fraud, whatever he wanted to say, he could have got away with that. But when you call out a couple of people who are not criminals and you call them out as criminals, you open yourself up to a lawsuit. It's really stupid for a guy who should know better. He's a lawyer.
But the other thing is that under oath, he'd say we didn't have any evidence of it. So under oath, there's no evidence of it. But when he gets away from being under oath, then there's lots of evidence.
Right, but he would have never had to be under oath if he did not call out individuals, if he just put it out there as like a blanket accusation there was voter fraud. But his problem was that this Ruby and her daughter or whatever, he named them. It's like, what?
Ruby Tuesday and her daughter, yeah.
Ruby Tuesday.
He reminds me of a guy that smells like a hospital all the time. And I would imagine too, like when he's dyeing his hair and it's running, when he's at home in front of the mirror, it's like running. I bet you he puts it all over his face and he's pulling out.
He rubs the dye on his face and accuses people of voter fraud.
Every time Rudy's name comes up, I want to talk about this serial killer thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you get aroused because I know I do.
Same here.
Whatever floats your boat. No judgment here. No judgment on that.
Yeah, count me out.
But I did get an email, and I'm not gonna even remember who it was from, but somebody was I pussied out with Anthony whatever his name was now.
Was it Shremby?
No, the cop the other day, Anthony Schlemby, or whatever his name.
Yeah, Fry Shremby.
Commish. When talking about the Son of Sam, when I asked him if he believed there were more than Son of Sam, I'm not familiar with that case. You know what? Because he's 81 years old. I don't want to argue with a former police commissioner and try to act like I know more about the law than he does. But at the time, there were headlines that suggested that Berkowitz, and in the letters there were suggestions that Berkowitz had accomplices because they called them the Sons of Sam's. But he said the killing stopped. Here's where the person said I pussied out when he said the killing stopped after Berkowitz was arrested, and that's an indication that he was doing it alone. The killings didn't stop. Killings didn't stop in New York. What happened was that 45 pistol, that Charter Arms Bulldog gun, was taken when he got arrested. That was taken in, so there were no more killings attributed to that gun. Right. But killings didn't stop in New York. And as a matter of fact, the two real Sons of Sam, Peter Carr and Michael Carr, were both killed within like months of Berkowitz's arrest. But, so, but I didn't want to, who am I to kind of call out an 81-year-old former police commissioner on the fact?
That is a defeatist attitude. It's not who are you.
I know, man. Like, you're letting him off the hook because he's old.
You are the mind dog. That's who you are. Don't forget that. So you can challenge anybody.
Wait, I forgot. Who am I again? No, I forget who I am all the time. Who am I?
The mind dog. That's right. The mind dogs. Little brother to Mad Dog. You are infinitely more wise than some 80-year-old guy who just used to be a police commissioner.
Right. But I don't know about infinitely. I think he really didn't want to answer that. But he had to know if he was police commissioner or even a lead detective at that time. You had to know about that case, that there were, because all the sketches were different. None of them looked like Berkowitz. I don't know if you guys followed that case. You probably were children or Stephen.
I followed it immensely just to make sure they didn't get my image on there.
I don't.
It sounds like it should be like now. It should be like a sitcom. Berkowitz in the morning.
Berkowitz in the morning.
Or furniture store, Berkowitz and Sons.
Yeah, because he could come home, in the evening he'd come home and the dogs would talk to him like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. Well, Michael Francisi
could run a junkyard to be like Son of Sam's and Son.
Michael Francisi got an interview with David Berkowitz. He's got an interview on YouTube where he got to sit down with David Berkowitz. He went into the prison. I want to get in there and into it. I haven't watched it yet. I put it on my watch later list, but I want to see if Francisi asked him about the others and all that stuff. Because Maury Terry, when he did his interview, he was actually putting words in Berkowitz's mouth, and Berkowitz was not really being forthcoming with any of the supposed conspirators or all that kind of stuff. I'm wondering if now, 50 years later, Berkowitz is finally giving up the ghost or giving up the Michael Carr, Peter Carr, or all those people who were involved. Anyway. Yeah.
Man.
So, is this person not coming on? Because
No. He said he's got to make his kid breakfast real quick and brush his hair, and he'll be on.
Washing his ball.
My God, I mean, what? Making it all about yourself? First, you're crippled, and now it's like, I gotta feed my kid. This is show business. You're out.
Really, show business. In other news today that was not mentioned. Now, I fired that lame. In the good news today, somebody trimmed their mustache hair. That guy, he's gone. He's been. I'm not getting my money back for him. He's been paid for the month to deliver these things. Today's was really lame. I forget what it was about. Oh, Yesterday's was about the chocolate chip cookie ring thing, right? I forget what today's was, but it was just so lame. So I'll give you some of the weird news that's out today. Runaway cows turned themselves into a rescue facility. They turned themselves in.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, runaway cows. I think that's an interesting story. Like, how did they even know where to turn themselves into?
Someplace that didn't smell like dead cows.
Animal rescues in the island of Guernsey said a herd of cows escaped from their fenced pastures, but were quickly recaptured when they wandered to an animal rescue center. So they were like, rescue us, basically. They weren't really turning themselves in. They were seeking refugee status.
Yeah, like an embassy. Going to a foreign embassy. Take us in so we don't go back.
In Michigan, a woman won $500,000 in a lottery, claimed she got the numbers from a tarot card reader.
Okay. That tarot card reader is going to be like famous.
I would not say that, because now the tarot card reader is going to want a piece of that change, right? So I gave you.
Well, not just that, but somebody's gonna. Well, yeah, that's
no, because the tarot card reader's already been paid for her services, so those numbers.
That's true. Yeah.
It'll be good for her, because now that should increase her business, because more people will be like,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she made a good prediction that worked. If it happened.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever gone to a tarot reader?
My mom was told I would walk by age 11 by a tarot card reader. Fucking liars.
No, you did walk with crutches.
I didn't count. I was already on crutches.
So you were walking. That counts as walking, doesn't it? Let's call Christopher Walken and ask him.
No, I call it leaning with style.
She was actually wrong because she meant with Jesus. She thought you were going to be dead by then.
Oh, walking with Jesus. That makes more sense.
Yeah, she thought you were going to be dead by then. But you
Is
beat
that a
the
Mark
odds.
Cohn song? Walking with Jesus. Is that a Mark Cohn song?
Sounds like it could
Walking
be.
with my feet 10 feet off a Beale.
I think I think you're thinking of Roy Cohn.
I'm thinking of Walking in Memphis. Walking with Jesus, Walking in Memphis.
Same thing.
Man paddles river in Australia's largest pumpkin.
Cool.
He made a boat out of a pumpkin.
They hold this contest every year.
Pumpkin.
He's resourceful. That's what he is.
That's what he is. I'm not big on pumpkins anyway.
And how big was the man? If he was a jockey, it's no big deal.
Good eye, Mike.
But if he were like The Rock, then I'd be impressed.
A lemur was spotted outside a Texas bar. A ring-tailed lemur.
Spotted lemur? Ring-tailed lemur. A ring-tailed lemur was spotted.
A ring-tailed lemur was spotted Monday at Mickey's Bar and Grill in Arkansas Pass to continue to evade capture attempts. Get that monkey. He's got
That's not news. That's not news. That's just another Tuesday night at my old high school, man. They used to always have some kind of greased animal running the halls that the Wild Lake High sent over. Get out of my spot.
Why are you taking my spot? Right. Andy Lemur, who is responding to a post that I
Andy Imlay.
Imlay, sorry. What I say?
Lemur.
Lemur. Well, I was reading about a lemur. Good morning, Andy, and thanks for being here. We don't know you, but introduce yourself and let us know something about you. What about you?
Hey, I'm Andy Imlay. I'm
You're not Lemur?
No.
I thought we were getting Andy Lemur on.
People mess up my last name all the time.
Do you mess it up?
Hey, I've always been told if they spell my name right on the check, that's all I care about.
Wait a minute, you get paid?
Sometimes.
You make money? What the hell?
Where you from?
On this show. This show is for people who don't make money.
Oh man, sorry. Well, I gotta go. I gotta go make money.
Yeah, no, I hear
No, I'm just playing.
I make money.
I'm from Southern Indiana.
What's your arm say? Is that your address in case you get lost?
Yeah.
Southern Indiana. Now, what cities are close are in the southern part of Indiana? I don't know. My geography sucks.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Evansville.
What does that mean, budding? Like, so you got how many comedy clubs? Do you have comedy clubs or people doing comedy at bars and coffee shops? And...
Yeah, we don't actually have a comedy club. The closest club we have is Louisville, Kentucky, which is about 2 hours away.
See, Louisville, told you.
Yeah.
I know my Indiana comedy scene.
Yeah,
Southern Indiana comedy scene.
We've got people doing bar shows. The most interesting thing about our area is we do have comedy shows occasionally in a furniture store at night.
Furniture store. Now that's interesting. For furniture customer, people coming in to buy, I need a new, I don't know, ottoman. And now I'm going to be subject to people telling me jokes while I'm trying to pick out a quality ottoman with a 5-year plan.
So not necessarily, but the owner of the store is a big fan of the Bob and Tom show. So he brings in comics from the Bob and Tom show to the furniture store at night, and then gives free tickets to customers.
Now they still call it the Bob and Tom show, right? But one of them is gone. It's just which one's gone?
Gosh, which one is it? I think it's
we don't even know.
Yeah,
I think it's Tom, isn't it? Didn't he have cancer or something?
I don't know. Listen, in New York, they might as well be Tom and Jerry, because nobody in New York has ever heard of Bob and Tom. It's
I would say when you have two names like Bob and Tom and one dies, you can replace them very easily. There's like enough Bobs and Toms out there. It's not like they were Hakeem and
it was Bob who left. He had cancer. Yeah.
I just thought of I was just thinking about Andrew Dice Clay, like Neil and Bob, or is that what you do? Oh,
So but they were around for. I mean, they've been a staple of Midwestern radio for quite a long time. I think going back to like the '90s, early '90s or something. But now so Tom is doing it with another guy, and just like calling Bob.
Tom's doing it with several people. I think he's running his son Willie that does stuff.
So it's polyamorous.
Willie, that's where he is.
That he'd lift us for Bob and Tom. That son of a bitch.
Well, good for him. He's moving up in the world. He's with Tom.
I wonder if they included a power cord.
He's found a new family.
Sign-on bonus.
Years ago, and I'm talking like 1995, when cable modems first came out, there was an electronics store, Nobody Beats the Wiz, in the New York area. Yeah. And it was owned by Cablevision, which was the leading broadband provider at the time. We came out with cable modems, and somebody above me in the corporation decided we should do live comedy shows at Nobody Beats the Wiz at noon daily. So, and I should bring video cameras, and basically people would be walking around buying fax machines and computers, modems, and there'd be comedians doing stand up to people who were just like freaked out about, like, what's this guy fucking talking about over here? It's one of the hardest gigs ever. Have you done the furniture store gig, and is it a fun gig?
I've done it a few times. I did it during a snowstorm one time. That was interesting.
Showbiz. You show up no matter what, snowstorm or what. A lot of people would pussy out of that. I would say.
I think there was 20 people that night, and I think
they had to stay warm.
Listen, 20 people, that's like 20 of GD's shows combined.
It's getting cold in here. Grab a recliner, throw it on the fire.
Yeah.
That's like 40 of my shows.
Wow. Well, that's an interesting thing. The furniture market is one we haven't really approached yet, but there's always I like the creativity of it and all that stuff. So now, how long you been doing? And this is a typical boring comedian question, but I don't know anything about you. How long you been doing it?
About a decade.
About a decade, and you're still doing furniture stores?
No, it's let's see. I've got a bar show coming up on Saturday that I'm headlining, and then just I'm doing a library this next Monday night. That should be interesting.
I'm doing one Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Library gigs are very weird.
That sounds weird, man. I couldn't even imagine. Oh,
well, it's not like you're in the library where people are looking through the index thing for books.
Well, stop reading so much into it.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Okay, Ron, you can go home now. You told your joke. It's like each of us, if we say something funny, they get to go home. That's how we get off the island. That's how we get off the show.
Yeah. They have separate rooms where they put on shows at the library. So it's,
like little conference rooms and stuff like that.
In the comedy section. Yeah.
I don't know if they want me to promote the promote the Book It Club. That's still a thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to promote that, but
yeah. Now, do you have a website where people find out more about you, or you use Facebook and Instagram or whatever?
I use Facebook. I have about, I think, 2.5 thousand followers on my Facebook page. Andy Emley's Humor Hub on Facebook.
Humor Hub.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was clever.
Oh, well, we won't hold that against you. A lot of more people are nobody has websites anymore. Our websites passe. Nobody needs them anymore.
I have a website. I'm the only one that visits it, but I have a website.
No, but I said a lot. I didn't say everybody.
No,
a lot of
that's
people.
all that matters.
A lot of people.
I have one.
That's all. Congratulations. But people aren't doing websites anymore. Like nobody's like people feel like they're not important. I'll just be on Facebook. Yes or no? Anybody?
Yeah, I think a lot of people use Facebook anymore.
Yeah. You know what? I guess you can avoid the expense. I don't know. I feel like it's necessary.
Bookers still ask if you have a website. At least the ones that are at least the ones that are disrespecting me and avoiding me ask about if I have a website. They keep asking for things until they find out I don't have it. Then that's when they say, you have a website? Yes. EPK? Yes. You have your own company? Yes. How about an agent? No. Okay, we don't want to talk to you. That's how it works.
What do you think we're looking at right now with that Steven shot?
We're looking at his arm beside the bed. That's his urinal. He has a gold-plated urinal. Actually, that's his bedpan tray.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, a bedpan. I've spent a lot of time in the hospital.
Oh my God.
That's his tray where they rest his bedpan.
Oh, I think, Steven, you could. Let's see here.
They're about to bring him food. They're about to bring him food. That's his.
I mean, honestly, if he really cared for the show, he'd bring in a defibrillator and have himself shot.
Here's the thing, though. I think he's lying. We caught Steven in a blatant lie here. He's kicking in. You think he's kicking it out? Kicking out. That's.
So, Andy, who's your special guest in your home?
That is my daughter.
Forehead for a little bit.
That's my daughter.
But yesterday, Steven told us he would.
Can you make her laugh with your joke? Can you make her laugh with your jokes, or do you have to do something stupid like bang your head on the wall?
It just depends on what kind of mood she's in. Sometimes she bangs her head against the wall and then laughs. So
let me confront Steven with his dishonesty here now, because yesterday, Steven, we're accusing you of being a violent criminal here. Yesterday, you told us your reason for being at the hospital was just to get stitches out. Now you're there a day later, and they're still doing colonoscopies and stuff on you.
They're taking out 1 stitch a day.
No. They I came in because my stitches were getting overgrown. And then they also were like, hey, you're supposed to have an MRI done from your back from when you fell. And I was like, okay. And then I had a fall over the weekend, so they kept me for an extra day. But I'm leaving here in exactly an hour and 45 minutes.
Are you changing your plea to guilty of violent crime?
100%.
Okay.
Now, why didn't they use dissolving stitches or staples or something that doesn't matter if it grows over?
That's
crazy
a good question. It's a
good
question.
Dr. Fenderson wants to confer with your doctor.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I mean, you could have, dissolving stitches. I mean, it's not like a circumcision where they were concerned that it would, give an infection.
Correct. Yeah, no, it's yeah, I don't know why they didn't use dissolving stitches. Probably just because I can't really keep weight off my foot, even in the wheelchair. So probably wanted to do something extra sturdy would be my guess.
All right.
It sounds like we need a doctor on the show.
Showbiz.
Yeah, sorry, Andy, would you go get a doctor, please? Just for a little bit.
Have you done any time in medical school? Have you had an experience in medicine at all, other than taking pills?
Who, me?
Yes. No.
I've spent a lot of time in the hospital, like Steven. I'm in a wheelchair also.
Really?
I'm just not in one currently.
Are you manual or stick?
I'm not a pussy, so I'm in a manual chair. So.
Dang.
Wow. Now, have you guys met a person like in real life, or I mean, not on this site?
Not yet.
No, we met on Facebook dating.
I was going to ask if you docked wheelchairs.
Well, here's the thing. We actually originally matched on OnlyFans, and then we found each other on Facebook. And
I thought it was only chairs.
Only chairs.
That was for people on death row.
Well, what about this possibility of doing a sit-down, stand-up only type of comedy show? Like everybody on the show,
like 2 chairs, 1 mic.
2 chairs, 1 mic. Yeah.
Look at him stealing my ideas.
Yeah.
You came up with it.
I guess it's becoming more common.
I would like to just remind everybody to check out my OnlyFans. It updates daily, and you should see my tasteful nudes.
So, well, I'm excited for that.
Well, just one question real quick. Andy, does your daughter understand the things that we're saying, or should we like repeat our conversation, or is she going to be repeating things like that later on to you?
I have my AirPod in for this specific reason, so.
Good.
Oh, so we can hear her. She just can't hear us?
Yeah, that's right.
Let's try it. I don't believe you. Let's try it. Cunt.
Yeah, see, she can't.
Wait, you didn't have to jump right into the deepest end of the pool with that.
You could have been like,
wow. Ease it in, like poo.
You could have been like ass or poo.
I wanted to see something that's
you wanted to see how deep the pool was in case she did drown.
She's gonna run through the house sounding like a dirt bike.
Really?
I just got her to quit calling the dog an asshole. So
right. Now, Andy, I'm guessing you don't work clean. You're dirty. You're one of them dirty, filthy comics.
No, I go both ways.
You go both ways?
Aha.
Yeah,
he's bi-comedian.
On Mondays. That library on Monday is a clean show. So.
Wow. Oh yeah, the library. I would imagine you'd probably have to do all clean. I mean, it'd be really weird because if the public is just strolling in there, because it could be all ages and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Now, are you at the librebody? This is
don't
really
they
weird.
card at the library? I thought they card everybody at the library. That's weird. They just let anybody in there.
Anybody can walk in there. No, that's where homeless people go to spend their day to stay warm in the winter. Is the library? You don't know this?
I did learn that in Florida. I learned that in Florida. They went there to get out of the heat.
All right. You do political stuff, Andy, or no? You stay away from politics.
No, I stay away from politics. I make fun of religion a little bit. I touch on it a little bit, but it's not a whole lot because my chances of beating somebody up after the show or defending my material is next to nil. So I try to stay away from that stuff.
You just got to bring that material when we hang out, man. I will drop people. Let's go.
Yeah, that was like a scene from Deadpool just now with Andy. You know, like because she just put her hand up on him like this. So it's like a scene from Deadpool when his hand is growing back.
Yeah.
Here's another news story. just popped up. Beard and Mustache Championship claims 3 facial hair chain world records. Beard
Takes a lot of
Mustache
patience.
Championship.
A lot of patience.
I think Ron Kane should get the Beard Mustache World
No, his
Championship.
friend, Ron's friend from last night, the guy at the bar that was talking to Laura. His beard was so. Have you ever hugged him? His beard is like really soft.
I've never hugged him.
It is. I was surprised. I mean, I didn't want to hug him, but he told me just come on in here and get some. So I hugged him, and when I did, it was like, oh my God, I could just like fall in love with his beard. I didn't want to let go.
You've never hugged Andy Imlay, have you?
No.
I'm just wondering how soft that beard is. Now, tell us a little bit about that facial hair you got going on there, Andy. Is it you sculpt it daily? Is it a high maintenance facial look you got going on there? Yeah.
I go to a barber and have it done because I have cerebral palsy, which means I have muscle spasms in my hands frequently. So
a razor on the face is not great.
No, it's basically taking my life in my own hands, basically.
Well, that's interesting. I never thought about that. So I'm guessing your pubes are just off the
same barber. Same barber does that. Same barber.
Yeah, it's like a 70s porn.
Do they charge extra for that, or is that considered part of the haircut?
For my barber, it depends on how long the hair is and how much time he has to spend on it. If he spends, very much at all. I think in total, if I have my haircut and my beard done, I think my barber charges $20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I never considered these things, and I'm kind of glad I haven't, to be honest with you. Anyway, so no, but you guys wouldn't consider, I don't know how you submit or try to enter the beard and mustache competition. I know I'd win the mustache one. If the slow mustache one, I'd win that. Basically, it's done. As soon as I enter, everybody else is going to just bail. They can't possibly.
Unless they do the handlebar they do the handlebar mustache competition separately, then you're a shoo-in. But if they include the handlebar mustache people with the mousse and stuff, I don't know. You're going to have run for your money.
Wow. I love a handlebar mustache because I can then take my balls and put it right on the end of each handlebar, and my balls can rest there.
Interesting.
Go for a ride.
Now, GD, have you ever considered trying to grow a facial hair?
No, I won't grow facial hair. I won't do it. I like the whiteness of my chin and lip.
More news. You want more news, or no? You don't want more news? A bear caught on camera trying to break into a parked police car. A bear.
So Andy, who's other than your children? Who's the hardest person in your family to make laugh?
Probably the dog.
Really, your dog is that hard to please? What kind of dog is it?
It's a toy poodle. So you tell me.
They are so snotty, so snooty.
Now,
yeah.
In the 1960s, obviously, you were very big in Japanese horror films and stuff like that, because your lip moves, and then we hear the sound like 30 seconds later. So, when did you give up your Japanese horror film acting career?
About the time I got married.
All right. Do you guys know? And this is for anybody. What's going on with Asian women? What's going on with them?
What's going wrong with them is what you're asking.
Which part of Asia? Because I'm familiar with the ones in Southeast Asia, just north of the west part around.
I'm familiar with the ones that are in the nail salon. That's about it.
I'm going to see if I can find an example of this.
It's kind of like you were setting up a Seinfeld bit. Like, who are these Asians? I love food.
What's with all these Asian women? On Facebook Reels, I'm seeing Asian women.
Are you sure this isn't Pornhub Reels that you're looking at?
How would I know?
Asian women.
What's up with these women what is up with these women who are pretending they have like dolls and they're pretending that they're breastfeeding, but they're with dolls just so they can have their nipples out. But they're like rubber dolls. You can tell they're rubber dolls.
Now, what I'm seeing, I'm just ignoring these. Asian women seem to be having their legs elongated, unnatural. Like, I don't know what's going on with these reels, but you see girls with bodies. The body is like this, and then the legs are like this, like out of proportion, long legs. And there's lots of these reels. And I don't know how I guess you watch one and they figure you like that. To be honest with you, I'm a leg man, and that's true. But legs that are abnormally longer than the body, or disproportionately longer than the body, are not my thing. It's just freaking me
You're
out.
just
But I'm
genetically engineered. It's genetically engineering. That's all. Genetic engineering.
I thought like it's like a stretcher, like they put them on a stretcher. It's like
but they got
the
joints in your
torso.
legs because the joints would also have to expand at the same rate. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to walk or stand. They'd have these huge gaps where the kneecap should be.
So I'm the only one who's seen this, right? Nobody else has.
You're the only one who's believed it when you've seen it. Everybody else goes, "That's not real."
That's not real. Well, there's an awful lot of them, and it's kind of freaking me out. I have to be honest with you. So Andy, thanks for being here. Now, where you got the library thing on Monday? That's a Monday afternoon or Monday evening show?
It's a Monday evening show.
Monday evening show. Well, and location, time, and location.
I
don't know.
I think he's getting the address. Wait.
Oh, you don't. What city? You don't even.
This is show business.
Show business. You gotta have your city and your time and place. Mine is in. I can tell you what mine is. Santa Maria's, New York.
You're looking at
Library,
your calendar right now
on Main Street on Sunday afternoon, 2:00 to 3:30 p.m.
I can tell you're looking at your calendar because your head went up and back and to the left. That's what your calendar is. It's like, back and to the left. He's looking at his calendar.
I'm just looking to see if I could find one of these stretched out.
Did we say goodbye to Gubs?
Oh no, good thing.
Do you have to say goodbye to Gubs, or can you just turn them off?